pleasant morning, one and all present here. It's my proud privilege to invite today's keynote speaker, Dr. Vimalathithan Rathinasabapathy, Director, Krishtec, Coimbatore, our beloved Principal Sir, Dr. N. Anbucherian, respected Head of the Department, Dr. A. Chilambacherivan Sir, faculty members and research scholars from different parts of our country for the inaugural session of ATAL Academy 5-day online faculty development program on research avenues and challenges in Industry 4.0. Multiple waves of the coronavirus pandemic are challenging humanity as never before. But the spirit of hope has helped us cope through the ages and also paved the way to get united virtually to enlighten our knowledge. Yes, this FDP is designed to bring academicians, researchers, technocrats across our country to a common gathering for exchanging and sharing of information in cutting-edge technologies. With these few words, I request our respected HOD Sir, coordinator of this FDP, to deliver the welcome address and to give an insight about this faculty development program. Sir.
Thank you. Distinguished Chief Guest of today's function, Dr. Vimalathithan Rathinasabapathy, respected Principal, Dr. N. Anbucherian, participants from various institutions across the nation, and dear faculty members. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all for the AST-sponsored ATAL online faculty development program on research avenues and challenges in Industry 4.0, organized by the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering of R.M.D. Engineering College. Being the head of the department and coordinator of the program, I would like to brief about the department and faculty development program. The Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering is one of the accredited departments in our institution. The program has re-accredited by NBA for 3 years up to June 2023. The department received AST CII Platinum Award for Industry Institute Linkage Activities. The department signed a MOU with leading core industries like Johnson Control India Private Limited, Mitsubishi Electric India Private Limited, KPT Technologies, etc. The department has 4 Center of Excellence: IoT Building Management System Center of Excellence in collaboration with Johnson Control of India, Factory Automations with Mitsubishi Electric India Private Limited, Automotive Electronics with KPT Technologies, Embedded System with Wipro. We also established IoT Building Management System Laboratory in association with Johnson Control India in our department. As part of industry activities, we are conducting many value-added courses for our students. The campus placement result of the department is more than 80% for the past 5 years, and our faculty members publish their research work in the reputed journals indexed by Web of Science, Scopus, etc. Even in the lockdown period, the department organized many technical activities such as AST-sponsored short-term training program, IAC webinars, hands-on training through online for the benefit of faculty and students. Today, the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering of R.M.D. Engineering College is conducting ATAL online faculty development program on research avenues and challenges in Industry 4.0 for 5 days. We have settled the program based on the AST guidelines. The institution has to conduct 3 sessions per day, and each session has to be of 2 hours. Since it is a 5 days program, 15 sessions are to be conducted. The last sessions of the program should be utilized for online tests, well-dictions, and feedback. 1 session should be given for meditations and stress management activities. So remaining 13 sessions are allotted for delivery of technical content. This program is under the thrust area of IoT. The main objective of the program is to provide opportunity for the faculty members, research scholars, industries to enhance their knowledge in the latest technologies of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 refers the fourth industrial revolution, which deals about automations and data exchange in manufacturing technologies. Because of Industry 4.0 technology, companies can collaborate and share data among customers, manufacturers, suppliers, and other parties in supply chain. The important technologies in Industry 4.0 are cyber physical system, Internet of Things, cloud computing, big data, virtual reality, etc. We arranged speakers who are expert in Industry 4.0 technologies. We invited speakers from reputed institutions like III TTM Kanchipuram, NITTR Chennai, NIT Trichy, Anna University Trichy, VIT University Chennai, etc. Also invited industry resource person from reputed companies like Mercedes-Benz, Tata Consultancy, Microchip Technologies, Krishtec, etc. for this faculty development program. The topics to be covered: IoT-based real-time applications, research opportunities in smart grid, digital twin concept in Industry 4.0, sensor interfacing applications, machine learning, design concept in e-vehicles. No doubt to say, this faculty development program is well organized and it will bring more insights about Industry 4.0. Happy to say that more than 200 members registered for this faculty development program. We approved 190 members for this program. As per guidelines, a test should be conducted by the coordinator at the end of the program. The certificates can be issued to those participants who are registered on ATAL portal and attend the program with minimum 80% attendance and score minimum 60% marks in the test. Feedback must be shared by the participants through portal available in their login. WhatsApp group already created for our participants. Through WhatsApp group, participants can post their clarifications or doubts. Our team will respond to it. So at this juncture, I request all the participants to follow the AIST norms strictly and expect your cooperations and support to conduct the faculty development program successfully. You will be engaged by expert lectures and hands-on training for 5 days. I welcome the distinguished speakers of today's session, Dr. Vimalathithan Rathinasabapathy, Director, Krishtec, Coimbatore, who inaugurates the program and also deliver the keynote address. I extend my warm welcome to our beloved principal, Dr. Untitled, the driving force behind us for all technical activities. I welcome all the participants and faculty members for this session. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Hope the participants' skill and knowledge will be enriched by the end of this FDP. I now request our beloved and most inspired principal, sir, Dr. N. Anbucherian, to felicitate the gathering and share the accomplishments of our institution. Over to you, sir.
Most respected chief guest of today's function, Dr. Vimalathithan Rathinasabapathy, founder of a very famous startup, Krishtec from Coimbatore. Beloved head of the department, Dr. Simplex, faculty members, and all the participants from across the country, from academia, industry, and research institutions. Hearty welcome and a very good morning to all of you for this wonderful day for AICTE ATAL Academy sponsored online faculty development program on research avenues and challenges in Industry 4.0. We thank AICTE on this occasion for sponsoring ATAL Academy sponsored FDP for our college. We are grateful to AICTE and the team related to this ATAL Academy. And on behalf of our management and on my own behalf and on behalf of R.M.D. Engineering College, hearty welcome to all of you once again. Let me briefly introduce about our institution, because you are attending this FDP in an institution. Participants are from across the country. You know something about our college. So we want to share something about our R.M.D. Engineering College. I will take another 5 minutes to briefly explain about the features and other activities which are all happening inside our R.M.D. Engineering College. Kindly stop this sharing. He is the promoter of our college, Sri R.S. Muniratnam. He is the founder and the chairman, great visionary and philanthropist. He was a former MLA 3 times consecutively for the past 15 years during the MGR period. And during this period, he was instrumental in setting up industrial estate, SIPCOT and Institute of Road Transport at Gumadipundi. He is also the president of Consortium of Self-Financing Professional Arts and Science Colleges in Tamil Nadu and the chief patron of All India Federation of Self-Financing Technical Institutions. And this is a family-owned trust, and these are all our other trust members. Sri R.M. Kishore, Vice Chairman, is coordinating the day-to-day activities of our college. Sri Alamanchi Pradeep is our secretary. Dr. Durgadevi Pradeep is our Vice Chairman, and Tirumati Soumya Kishore is our trustee. And we belong to RMK group of engineering colleges, and our parent institution is RMK Engineering College. Our R.M.D. Engineering College was started in the year 2001 by Sri Swaminathan Naidu Educational Trust. During 2001, and we are approved by AICTE, affiliated to Anna University, and all the eligible 5 UG programs are accredited by NBA, that is re-accredited by NBA for 3 years up to June 2023. And our institution is also accredited by NAC. We are also ISO 9001-2015 certified institution. Currently, we have got the autonomous grants, and only this year from the E1 semester of 2020-21, and our autonomous validity is up to 2029-30, and we have got the approval both from UGC and Anna University, and now we are running as an autonomous college. And these are all the programs we are offering: BE Computer Science and Engineering with 180 intake, BE Electrical and Electronics Engineering with the 60 intake, BE Electronics and Communication Engineering with 180 intake, BE Electronics and Instrumentation with the 60 intake, BTech Information Technology. This total 60 intake is adopted by Virtusa. This is a Virtusa batch adoption program. And similarly, last year we have introduced BTech Computer Science and Business Systems with the 60 intake, sponsored by Tata Consultancy Services, and this is totally TCS powered program, and entire 60 intake is adopted by TCS. And similarly, this year we are going to introduce BTech program in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, and we are yet to get the approval from Anna University and AICTE, but we have got the NOC from Anna University, and talks are on the way, and this is going to be entirely sponsored by Cognizant. And we have an ME Computer Science and Engineering program. Apart from this, 2 of our centers are recognized research centers by Anna University, Computer Science and Mathematics. And related to our laurels and other awards achievements are concerned, we are in NARF ranking the engineering category with a rank band of 201 to 250 in 2020. And we are also winner of Scient Award in AICT CAE survey for Best Industry Linked Technical Institute category. And for the past 5 years, we were in the platinum category. And in 2020, we are the winner as far as CSE and IT branch is concerned. We have also got the E-Trade Campus Award with a 5-star rating from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And we have received National Employability Award from the Aspiring Minds during 2018, 2020, and 2021. Similarly, we have received the Best Engineering College Award, Bharati Vidya Bhavan Award for the overall performance during 2010 from the Indian Society for Technical Education. And related to other things, excellent academic performance for the past 10 years, and we are ranked as one among the top 10 engineering colleges across Tamil Nadu by Anna University. We have so far produced 12 gold medalists, 581 university ranks, and 7,621 graduates since inception, with an average of more than 95% graduation. Excellent placement record of more than 85% consecutively for the past 10 years, with an average of 122 companies visiting our campus every year. For the passed out batch 2020 batch, our placement percentage is 88.11%, with the highest salary offered from Amazon of 14 lakhs per annum and average salary of 4.1 lakh per annum. And this is our ranking, Nana University. And we have introduced a lot of other digital measures during this pandemic period. And these are all our major recruiters. You name any company, major company in India, they are all our recruiters. But recruitment, as you all know, it is happening only in the IT stream. Apart from this, some companies like Honeywell, HCL for embedded systems, Wipro for telecom, Johnson Controls, Soliton, this type of companies are also coming, and they are recruiting for core engineering also. And for this, we are following 360-degree structured training programs for our students, right from first semester to 7th semester. And in association with various industries, we have established 10 centers of excellence. And association with Cognizant, we have a center of excellence called Artificial Intelligence. So like this, 10 centers of excellence we have through these centers, through these COEs, we are conducting many programs with respective guests from the respective industries. And our faculty members are trained in all these major domains, and they are also handling the specialized courses. Now we have become autonomous. Definitely we can offer elective courses, 1 or 2 elective courses in this through this COE. And this is our replacement percentage branch wise. This is day 1 offer. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. And I wish all the best for the E&I department for conducting this ATAL sponsored FDP. I thank our chief guest, Dr. Vimalathithan, and other participants across the country for participating in this 1-week online FDP sponsored by AICTE. Wish you all the best. Great day ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for continuously guiding our institution to be in the limelight. I now once again request our respected head of the department to introduce the chief guest to this august gathering.
It gives me
Sir.
great pleasure to introduce the speaker of today's session, Dr. Vimalathithan Rathinasabapathy. He is the founder and director of Krishtec, a product development company based on IoT, especially for smart village product using IoT long-range technology. He completed Masters of Engineering in Communication System at Government College of Technology, Coimbatore. He completed postdoctoral research at the University Padova, Italy, where his research activity focused on machine-to-machine communication, and completed PhD in the year 2013 at Anna University, India. He has more than a decade of experience in teaching and research experience and 6 years of industry experience. He is a technical consultant for startups in IoT and mentor for IB mathematics. His research area includes cryptography, cryptanalysis, IoT, long range, robotics, EMI, EMC, antenna design, and optimization machine learning techniques. Currently, he is associated with ANSYT Bangalore for autonomous vehicle and Future Connect Chennai for Industry 4.0 projects. I am happy to say, sir, few achievements of our speaker. He founded a startup in the name of Krishtec in the year 2014, which was selected as one of the top 10 startups in India at International Science Festival IISF 2017, held at Chennai in October 2017. University of Padova, Italy had funded 21,198 euros to carry out the research under International Mobility Program for Young Research from India and Nepal, one among 8 from India in 2013. Erasmus Mundus External Cooperation Window, LOT 13C had sponsored 18,000 euros for doing research work at University of Bologna, Italy, one among 5 from India in 2010. He is a member of Cryptography Research Society of India, International Association for Cryptography Research, Institute of Engineers India, Computer Society of India, and reviewer of IEEE, TIFR, IEEE Access Journals, DRDO Journals, WCS, EUROSIC, and International Journal of Network Security. We are very proud to have an expert for this session, Dr. Vimalathithan Rathinasabapathy. On behalf of our institution and my own behalf, I welcome the speaker. Sir, you are welcome, sir. Once again, I welcome all the participants for this program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your detailed introduction about the chief guest. I now request our today's keynote speaker, Dr. Vimalathithan Rathinasabapathy, Director, Krishtec Coimbatore, to take over the session. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. My respected principal, Dr. N. Anbuchalin, sir, and Professor and Head of K&I, Dr. Silambachelvan, and organizers, and R.M.D. Engineering College. I'm very much happy to be a keynote speaker in this ATAL FDP. So this ACT ATAL is doing a very good job by providing this training to faculties, and even this ATAL is providing training to school kids. So really ACT is providing a lot of opportunities, especially during this pandemic period. The main objective of this FDP is to gather knowledge from researchers, industry persons, and scientists and teachers from different areas. And the ultimate aim of this program is to transfer the knowledge to the students. So that is the main aim. So the participants must effectively utilize this program, and then they have to transfer the knowledge, what they obtained during this program, to the students. I thank the head of the department for providing this opportunity. Now, I'll move to the session. So this is the today's topic, recent trends and challenges in industry version 4.0. So what do you mean industry 4.0? So this is my agenda for this session. So introduction about this industry 4.0 and then industry 4.0 in different industries, academic industry, industries and cities. We call it as smart cities, and in automobile industries, especially in autonomous vehicles, and digital tools for teaching and learning, and if time permits, few interactive demos and question and answer session. So usually, if we take communication, so there are three types of communication: simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. So simplex is nothing but one-way communication. The speaker will speak and the listeners will listen. But if you take the half duplex, so it will be a responsive one. And if you take full duplex, it's a normal communication. And I request the participants to be interactive and you make this session half duplex. So what is the industry 4.0? So everyone is talking about industry 4.0. And have you heard about this academia 4.0? Any participants in academia 4.0? So if you take and head of the department said that the facilities available in their department. So I was wondering, so he said about the Center of Excellence, IoT with the building management system. So first time I'm hearing this a Center of Excellence with building management system. It's really an advanced Center of Excellence. So, and also I was wondering about the facilities available in this institute, so at par with the international standards, right? So we will talk about that academia 4.0, right? So what I mean industry 4.0? So actually this term was first appeared in the German government document. So it's referred to Germany's attempt to integrate the digital technologies to national manufacturing strategy. And you see here, it was introduced in 2010. But if you take the Internet of Things, IoT, so it was coined by Kevin Ashton. The term was coined by Kevin Ashton in 1999. See here, 20 years back. So when he was in a famous company called Procter & Gamble, so at the time he introduced this term, Internet of Things, and he said that, so in future, this will rule the world. And of course, at the time, no one listened to him. No one have turned to him. But now, everyone is talking about this Internet of Things, right? You see here, how much time, and of course, in India, we are talking about this IoT from 2012-13 during that period. Before that, in 2010, and no one have heard about this word, Internet of Things, and maybe very few had heard about this thing, Internet of Things. But this was framed in 1999. You see that delay here. So how much time it takes to reach, right? This one shows about the evolution of industry from 1 to 4. That is, if you take that version 1, so using the mechanical production facilities, so the industry was running. But if you take the 2.0, so manufacturing with the help of electricity for mass productions. And if you take 3.0, so automated productions, but not fully automated, right? And integrating electronics and information technology. But if you take 4.0, integration of digital and physical systems, IoT, Internet of Things, big data analytics, robotics, and 3D printing. And of course, we can see that evolution from 1 to 4, and you see how much time it takes for the evolution, right? But if we take that evolution of academia 4.0, so we reached quickly. I'll tell you while discussing about the academia 4.0 and how we reached quickly. So basically this industry 4.0 refers to industrial revolution, new phase in industrial revolution. Basically, it depends on interconnectivity of devices, automation, and machine learning, and real-time data. Now, all the industries are focusing on this ML and AI. And of course, if you take that automation, they already implemented semi-automation. And then if you take that interconnectivity, so almost, so the industries are interconnected, right? But if you take this 4.0, it is also sometimes referred to smart manufacturing. But if you take the small scale industries, they find it difficult to adapt to this industry 4.0. Why? Because huge investment is required. Huge investment is required to adapt to this version 4.0. But in order to survive in the business, this adoption is very important. They have to adopt. Why? We'll see, right? So if you take the obstacles for adapting this 4.0 is lack of education and unclear messaging. So why I have to invest a huge amount and then I have to adapt this one. So that's the main thing. But if you see it in terms of business and if you see the return on investment, so that will be huge. The ROI will be huge. But very big companies have adopted this one and almost in progress, right? But the small scale industries find it difficult, Right? A simple example, I take a goods management system. When Amazon introduced this goods management system, that is online delivery in 2003. So at the time, very few have preferred this online delivery. But now you see that after 20 years, so what about the role of this online delivery, especially for goods? As I said, the small scale industries, they hesitated to adapt to this industry 4.0. But if you take this Amazon, so if you see the growth of this one, right, online goods delivery, nearly 20 years they were in the market, right? Let us take another simple example, a food delivery app, right? So see here, only the big portals, they have adopted this food delivery app, right? So let us take a Swiggy or Uber Eats or Zomato or whatever it is, right? So here, this increases the business. How it increase the business? So if you take this industry 4.0, right? So adapting the latest technologies and incorporating the business, incorporating in their business, but I already said that is the investment will be huge. But if you take the return on investment, that will be also, it will be also high. The proportion, more proportionate than they are not adopted, right? But small scale hotels hesitated to adapt this food delivery apps 2 years back, right? But this Zomato find it difficult to enter into the small scale hotels. But of course, they convince a lot. But if you see this pandemic season, those who have hesitated to adapt this one, they are feeling a lot. But here, the business runs only for those who have adopted this food delivery app. I mean, I'm talking about this pandemic period, right? So what about the others? Those who are not adopted this one. So what about their business? It's a very big question mark for them. So you have to adapt the technology growth in your business, and then if you want to survey, we have to adapt, right? So basically, it is sharing of data. So if I want food, so what I will do, I will share my location and I will search for my requirement, food requirement. And what about the food providers, that is hotels? So they will share their locations and then they will share their food availability, right? So based on that, you can order the food, right? So why we prefer this online food delivery, right? So why we have to utilize this technology? So for example, let us take a simple case, right? So I have an important work. So I am working at my office, right? But I don't find time to go to the hotel and then take food, right? But I'm hungry. It's a normal human mentality. If you have a tasty food, your work performance will be more, right? So by sitting at your office, you can order the food. You can sitting at the office, you can order the food, and then you can enjoy the food. So what happens? What happens to your mental state? You'll be very happy. And then what happened? The production at your office, it will be increased, right? So having a small tea makes you highly refreshed. So likewise, so for example, if you want to have a biryani during the lunch time, and if you have a vegetarian food, but of course you had food. But what about the mentality? If you have tasted your wish, then your energy will be more. See, if you take this industry 4.0, ultimately the two things: increase the production, effectively utilizing the time, and ultimately increasing the sales and revenue, right? So this is a simple example. So you take here Paytm. So in mobile, that is mobile app, that is pay through mobile, right? So at that time, so when they introduced this Paytm, very few people utilize this one. But if you see the growth of this Paytm when they introduced, and after 5 years, it's very slow. But during the demonetization period, they could not expect that much growth, right? So here they have adopted the technology, the latest technology, so like PayPal, right? But they have introduced it in India. But initially for 5 years, of course, they were in the market, and of course they survived. But nowadays, everyone is using this Paytm, right? So at the end of the session, I will talk about how to control this corona, right? Using technology. And of course, so as a technologist and the engineers, so we cannot provide solution in terms of medical aspects, but we can provide solution to control this one, right? Especially if we would have adopted this industry 4.0 and IoT in all the industries, then we would have controlled the spreading of corona, right? Now you see that banking, right? So they also adapted this technology to survey in the market. Initially, the State Bank was the topmost bank, but they have not adapted any technology for even for internet banking and UPI payments, right? So ICICI was introduced the internet banking. But now what happens? In order to survey, they have to adapt. But of course, they need some investment, right? But later, the State Bank also adapted this one. But if you see the rate of the growth for State Bank, it is high, right? But now, even now, the State Bank is the topmost providing online services, best online services. Yes. Collection of data. It is a very important parameter in Industry 4.0. And how this data can be effectively utilized to increase the business. A very simple example I will show you. Yes, please wait. I'm sharing my screen. Another screen. Yes, let us take a smartphone. So usually you will have the weather forecasting application, right? So how many of you have utilized this weather forecasting report? Let us take the Google weather forecasting, right? So here I am sitting at Coimbatore, right? So weather at Coimbatore is 23 degrees Celsius, right? So how this data can be effectively utilized? Can anyone tell me? Even you can give the answer in the chat box. And how many of you effectively utilize this application, Google weather forecasting? So you can send a message in the chat box. So how I can use this data, a simple data, and how many of you have utilized? So why I'm asking this question is, so I may get a new answer that is from different applications. That's why I'm asking. Okay. Let us take a weather of New York. You see here, by sitting at Coimbatore, I'm seeing the weather of New York, and I'm sitting at Coimbatore, I'm seeing the weather of a city, Sydney in Australia. What is the necessity of sharing this data? So how this data can be utilized to increase the business? And of course, this is available online and everyone can access the data. But do I need this data? Of course. Since I'm in Coimbatore, so I may need the data for Coimbatore, right? So why I need that data for New York or Australia? Suppose if I travel to that cities, then I can access this data, and then based on this weather, I can plan, right? Now, I'll put a small question here. How you can increase a business using this data? Anyone can reply in the chat box or even in the mic. I will wait for a minute to get the answer.
ஃபில்டர் ஆமா சொன்னா வந்து போட்டுருவாங்க நான் அப்பதான் சொல்லல நான் பேசணும் இன்னைக்கு சொல்லி நீ மாட்டேன் அதுல என்ன இருக்கு ட்ரெயின் பண்ணி
Yes, any participants?
We can forecast the wind, sir. We can forecast the wind and we can predict the generation of wind power, and that wind power can be sold to the electricity market.
Okay. Yes,
this
fine.
is one form of application, I think so, sir.
Okay, sir, fine. Thank you. Yes, what is it is correct. This is one thing. But the same data can be utilized in different industries in different forms to increase their sales, right? Thank you, sir. Any other answer? So I will wait for one more minute to get reply from some other participants. And one more question. And of course, everyone would have using in this smartphone. And usually, in the smartphone, we can see this the weather forecasting application. How many of you have effectively utilized that application? That is my question. You can say yes or no. If you take here, so we would have used this application just to monitor the value. Yes. Any reply from the participants? Yes, someone, Mr. Vijay Raghavan, have used. Okay, fine. So after seeing the data, can you tell me whether it is useful for taking any decision? Mr. Vijay Raghavan, Diliraj, I come from. So we have seen this data, right? And after seeing this data, I will take any decision. So if you take this industry 4.0, finally said it's nothing but an integration of IoT, big data analytics, data analytics, right? So how this data will be shared with the different industries and then increase the business. For example, let us take, so in agriculture, right? So if it is rainy today, then no need to water the plants. So very simple example, right? But if you take the data analytics, from US, okay, yeah, the topmost company have suggested the McDonald's, and then they have increased the sales. So you will see how. See here, you can see, based on the data analytics, they have suggested the McDonald's to increase the production of certain snack items, products. In the sunny region, they have to sell ice cream. And in the rainy region or cold region, they have to sell the coffee, right? So they have suggested to increase the production of certain snack items to all the McDonald's stores in US. That is a research team from Big Data Analytics, right? So they have taken the weather reports and then they have suggested, but initially they have not said how they take this decision, how they took this decision, right? But later they announced that. So based on these conditions, just see here, even if you take in our case, in our country, so if it seems to be rainy, we like to have a hot snacks, right? And then you like to have a hot tea, right? Suppose if it is hot sunny, then you will like to have cool drinks, right? So based on these data, the production of the snack items, right, that have to be reduced. And of course, they have suggested to the McDonald's on the highways, and then they asked to produce the snacks. So based on the rainy season. So what in that case, what the travelers will do, if it is rainy, then they'll stop at the snack stop, and then they will consume the snacks, right? Even if you take the Ola and Uber, right? Suppose if you are taking a public transport, and if it is to be rainy, then you can prefer a call taxi, right? But the same data, right, that can be utilized in different industries, and then they can increase the business. Suppose if it is not rainy, we can prefer the cheap transport. You can go for a bus or you can go for a two-wheeler taxi. But if it is rainy, then no other way, we have to take a taxi, right? That is car taxi. See here, the same information, but in different industries, right? And of course, we will see in automobile industries and in civil industries, we will see, right? We take another case, agriculture, right? That is the growth of industry 4.0 in agriculture industry, right? So it's take a connected farms. Everyone knows about the connected farms, right? So what do you mean connected farms? The farms are connected. That is, the farmer and the equipments and the land, agricultural land, all are connected. And of course here, the data is very important. So based on this data, you can decide the time of harvesting and the time of growth and a lot more things, right? And you see the growth of agriculture in adapting this IoT and Industry 4.0. But of course in India, the adoption rate is very low. Why? And we have not adapted to these automation farms or connected farms. Can anyone tell me why in India, especially in India, but if you take European countries, America, or other Australian environment, so they have adapted to this connected farms. But now only in India, we are adapting this technology, right? But not fully. What is the reason? But if you take here the smart harvesting, right? Automation in agriculture, the adoption rate is very low. The reason is India lies at the equator. So the average daytime and the night time in India is 12 hours. But if you take the European countries or US, so in most of the, you take the countries that it is located at the poles, maybe South Poles or North Poles, right? During the summer, 20 hours will be sunny, right? And during winter, 20 hours will be like night time. So it is very difficult for the farmers to go on work on the farm. So they preferred the automation in agriculture, right? So without going to the farm, they have to cultivate and then they have to monitor the growth of the plants. So here in India, since the daytime, the average daytime and nighttime is 12 hours, right? And also if you take the temperature, this temperature will not be too hot or too cold, right? So this is the right place for agriculture. So that's why we call this agriculture is the backbone of India. But we are slowly adapting this technology, right? In agriculture also. You take the civil industry, right? So initially, so we construct the building, that's all. But if you take the building management system, right? So if you take the building management system, let us take the smart building, a smart bridge, a smart tunnel. So what do you mean smart here? We will see about smart, the term smart, even in smartphones and smart cities and villages, right? So let us take the load test. So usually, if a bridge is constructed, then they will test for the load. And even you can see that in front of the bridge, you can see the maximum load that can be applied to the bridge. That is, a vehicle should not carry the load more than the mentioned value, right? So the load applied to the bridge that have to be considered, right? In case of this structural health monitoring, right? So we place the sensors within the structures and continuously monitor the loads, right? If it is a building, then it is nothing but a smart building. And if it is a bridge, smart bridge, and tunnel, if it is a tunnel, then it is called a smart tunnel. But in India, we have very few tunnels, right? You can see that.
Participants, please
sensors,
kindly mute yourself.
And here you can see the sensors. Thank you. Thanks for sensors placed in the different parts of the building. It collects the data. And then shared with the centralized system, right? And then based on this data, you can take decision, right? So especially in structures, that is, if you take the bridges, right? Suppose if the load is exceeded, then it can give an alert system for the vehicles entering the bridge, right? But in India, so it is in research state, but in Europe, they have implemented this structural health monitoring in almost all the buildings and then bridges, right? And the next industry is medical industry. Yes, that is adapting this technology that is in the 4th generation. So there are two types: disease management and personal fitness, right? So if you take the Apple Watch, right? The Apple Watch, nowadays you can see that a lot of smart watches, right, continuously monitors the human body parameters, right? And here, one thing to be considered, in India, if we would have adopted this MPM application in medical industries, during this pandemic, we could have drastically reduced the spreading of this corona, as I already said, right? So nowadays, the people are going to the hospital and for consulting with the doctors, whether they are affected or not. And even in mild cases, they get panic. But if you would have implemented this system, the remote monitoring system, whether it may be a patient monitoring system or a normal personal fitness, right? So without going to the hospital, we can monitor these parameters. Now, if you see, the Tamil Nadu government is sending humans to each and every homes and collect the data and collect the body temperature and then their status of each and every individuals at home. But if you would have developed this system 3-4 years back, now we will be in fully safer condition, right? As I already said, so the huge investment is required to adapt to this. But if you see that ROI and the effectiveness, right? I already said that the Paytm, if you take the Paytm, at the time of introduction, no one have utilized the Paytm. Very few have preferred. But during the demonetization period, so what about the utilization of that application? Even if you take that Paytm application, you can reduce the spreading of corona. So here, without sharing the notes, currency notes, right? So there is no direct contact between the seller and the buyers. You can easily transfer the money through this Paytm. So this also reduces the corona. I already said, as a technologist, as an academics, as an engineer, we can provide solution to control this, right? Even you can develop a small system and find out the distance between the persons, right? And then you can even apply AI and then find out the social distancing, right? So this reduces the spreading of corona, right? But now, most of the hospitals are providing the online consultancy through Gmeet, Zoom, like that, right? So, and then now only they are adapting. See here, the situation demands. I'll talk about this Academia 4.0, right? So how we adapted this, and then the growth rate is very high, right? Yes. So this is about the 4th generation in medical industries, right? The next one, an important thing, is smart water. It is very important thing, right? So water is the elixir of life. So what is smart water? See here, water contains lot of ions, right? Lot of ions. But if you take the natural water, all the natural waters can be drink. But if you take a water that flows through the underground, if there is any industry emitting waste, now what happens? Metal waste. Now that metal waste gets interacted with the ground, and that ground, when it interacts with the natural water that is flowing in the underground, now what happens? The ions will be transferred to the water, right? So the water becomes non-drinkable. So we have to monitor the ions available in the water, right? And then based on the ions available in the water, we have to segregate the application of water. It is another industry, that is distribution of water. But if you take, now only we are using the smart metering for measuring the consumption of water, but we are not measuring the quality of water. We are measuring only the quantity of water, right? Quantity of water, but we are not worrying about the quality. And we feel that government, that is the corporation, is providing a purified form of water. And of course, in some cases, right, some diseases spreads through water also. So at that time, so we have to heat the water and then we have to drink. But if we have implemented this technology and then monitor the quality of water, and if it is not suitable for drink, then you stop the distribution, right? Of course, so most of the companies, the big companies, have developed this smart water solution. But of course, in Europe, they have implemented. So this will be useful in installing at the corporation water tanks, panchayat water tanks, and even in the gated communities water tanks, common water tanks, right? So the different interests, so adapting to this, the technology. So it's, of course, if you take the product of this, if you take the cost of this product, nearly 6 lakhs for a small community, right? But if you take the utilization of this product, that will be more, right? Yes. The next one. So this is the robo, right? A traffic robo that is adapting this technology in the form of humanoid for a robot. Basically, it's nothing but robotics, right? So here, it acts as a traffic police, right? It acts as a traffic police. So what we have to do? So how to train this robot, right? So basically, it is a machine. Basically, it is a machine, right? So normally, what traffic police will do? So he will control the traffic by seeing the traffic. The same information, that is the quality of the traffic police, must be trained to this robot, right? So this will be one project in smart city projects, right? Yes, smart robot. You take smartphones, smart cars, smart classroom, smart fridge, smart washing machine. So what am I smart here? How do you define smartphone? Anyone? Any participants? Next, we move to the smart classroom. So what am I smart classroom? What am I smart classroom? Many participants? You can reply in the chat box. So what am I smart classroom? And then you can come further. Everyone is using that phone, and we call it as a smartphone, right? Any participants?
So it's a classroom equipped with the latest ICT tools.
Yes, fine. Thank you. Wi-Fi facility, interactive smart boards. Why we need interactive smart boards? Thank you, Ms. Deepa. So interactive smart boards, Wi-Fi facility. Why we need that one? Let us come to that smartphone. How we define smartphone? And then smart cars, smart fridge. What do you mean that word smart? Even, yes, can use internet and broadcast lecture. Yes, fine. Thank you. Smart fridge. Actually, if we take, I went to a showroom. I saw a fridge. They mentioned that it is a smart fridge. Then I asked what are the facilities available. They said that they have a small TV, a portable TV, maybe a 7-inch in the front door of the fridge. They said it is smart fridge, right? So what is the necessity of the TV there, right? But they said it's a smart fridge. Then I asked about the cost of that fridge. So they said that it's nearly 1.5 lakhs, right? 1.5 lakhs. Since they are equipped with the TV, you can connect your TV and you can watch the TV even at the kitchen, right? But actually, if you take the smart fridge, so the smart fridge, it is a connected fridge. So it will give the information about the quality of the items, food items available inside the fridge. Please make a note, quality and quantity, right? So that is well, that's the latest smart fridge. But of course, that depends on the users. Someone said about control through mobile. Yes, fine, control through mobile, right? Okay. I think now we can see here different phones. Let us take in the first row 1, 2, 3, 4, and the second row we have 1, 5, totally 5. So among the 5, which one is smartphone? You can give the answer in the chat box by simply sending the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as per you. So what is smartphone? You can say which one is smartphone, 4 and 5. Okay, right. Any other answer? So why 4 is called a smartphone? Why not the first one? Any other answer? You see that evolution of phones, right? From first generation to fourth generation. one it is only used for call log. Yes, fine. So how to define this word smart, right? See here, it depends on the demand and the user's requirements. For example, if I want to convey, yes, to its hands-free. See here, if you want to convey only the information, that is your requirement, right? You want to convey the information, then you can say the first device is the smart device, smartphone. Your requirement is satisfied, right? Your requirement is satisfied. But if you take the second case, if you want to convey you want to talk, that is, you want to receive the calls and make calls, and you want to roam within the home, right? Then you cannot say the first one is a smartphone, because your requirement is we have to convey the information, or you have to make and receive the calls, and also you have to roam within the home. That is wire-free mode. If this is the requirement, then the second will be the smartphone. But if you take the third case, if you want to roam within the city or within the country, then you take that. The third phone is also a smartphone, right? So based on the requirements, we define the term the smart, right? There is no unique definition for smart. So for example, so I may need, right? Let us take the fourth case. It is an iPhone. So it contains a lot of applications. We can go for bankings, reservation facilities, like that. If these are the requirements, then you cannot say that the first three is a smartphone. In the next case, even if you don't like to carry that physical device, right? Then you can see the fifth one is the smartphone, right? So actually it is a device, right? So it fully replaces the hardware. So it is a virtual phone. It is a virtual phone, right? So based on the requirements, so we will define the smartphone, right? So likewise, if you take the smart fridge, right? So what the ladies will do, they want to watch the serials or movies while cooking. If that is the requirement, the fridge, what I said, the fridge with the small TV, that is nothing but a smart fridge. But here, what is the requirement? So the application of fridge, that is, it can have to store the food items, and also working woman, that is, while cooking, if they like to see TV, so they can watch the TV on the fridge. So that is the smartphone fridge, right? But I already said, so it depends on the each and everyone's requirement. Suppose if we want to monitor the quality and quantity of food items that is available inside the fridge, then you go for the connected fridge. Then you can say it is a smart fridge, right? Now, come to the smart classroom, right? Now come to the smart classroom. So what is the ultimate aim of a classroom? Ultimate aim of a classroom. Anyone? I need answer from almost all the participants. Please let us read. What is the ultimate aim of a classroom? And then we will see why we'll go for a smart classrooms. Yes, I'm waiting for the reply. What is the necessity for a classroom? Anyone? At least one reply. Save the time. Smart classroom, visualization. First, classroom. What is the ultimate aim of a classroom? Then we'll move to the next classroom, smart classroom. Visualization. Yes, of course. Learning. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Geeta Priya. Active engagement with students. Yes. Transfer of knowledge. Yes, thank you, Administrator and Sushmita and Vinny, Anthony, Grace, and Manjula. Fine. That is, the aim of the classroom is to transfer the knowledge from the teacher to the students. That is ultimate aim, right? So even a good teacher can teach the students orally itself, right? So no need to have a pen and paper or a blackboard. A good teacher will transfer the knowledge on his words itself. Okay. So why we go for boards, interactive boards? Before the interactive boards, we take whiteboards, right? Take that. Yes. Initially, we had a blackboard with chalk, right? So to write and show some information so that the students can easily understand. And now we move to the whiteboard with markers, and then we move to the projector, right? So in order to make the students to visualize, and then we went to interactive whiteboard, and then whiteboard app. So whatever it is, the ultimate aim is to convey the knowledge. That is a transfer of knowledge to the students, right? So for example, if a teacher finds difficult to make the students to visualize, in that case, they can go for a projector and then play some videos, and then he or she can transfer the knowledge. But some staffs can make the students to visualize on the words itself without using the projector, right? But ultimately, we want to transfer the knowledge, right? But now we have whiteboard apps, right? You see the devolution of classrooms, right? So again, if we take the smart classroom, the requirements, right? So if we need the projector to play some videos or animations and then to transfer knowledge, then you can say it is a smart classroom. It is enough, right? So ultimately, the requirements must be satisfied. If it is satisfied, then you can say it's simply a smart classroom. Even if you take a class with blackboard, right? If you could convey the entire knowledge and the entire thing you want to convey to the students, then you can say it is a smart classroom, right? Fine. So there is a difference between classroom and smart classroom, right? So now we use the technologies, right? Devices in the classrooms, and then to show some visualizations, videos, and other things. But anyhow, it is for transferring knowledge, right? Okay. Now, I'll put another question. So while taking class through online, so what are the challenges you faced? What are the challenges you faced? Yes, please. I'll wait for a minute to get the answer for this. Network issue. It's fine. The first one is network issues. It's a technical issue. No quick reply from students while online. Yes, even I face this while taking this. No quick reply, not only from students. Monitoring of students. Yes. No quick reply, monitoring. Yes, I completely agree. So network issue is the technical issue. Okay, the technical issue will not join at time. Lack of interaction with students it is in the hands of teacher to make the students interactive. Students monitoring is difficult. Yes, I'm getting reply in 10 seconds. Okay, lot of replies. What are the challenges other than this? Yes. So network issue. So a simple solution is we can go for a high-speed internet. And if you are in the fringe area, then it is difficult. Okay. So it is not in the teacher's hand or the presenter's hand, the network issue, right? So that depends on the service providers. And of course, you can prefer a good network. Okay, someone said about communication with all students like in offline classes was not easy. Ms. Soumya, you mean it's not comfortable or you are comfortable? Potential students are not identified. Yes. Non-interactive. Fine. Practical impact are missing. Okay. This question is to Ms. M.S. Soumya. So communication with all students like in offline class was not easy. Fine. That is okay. And comfortable means, so what do you mean? You are comfortable with the online class or communication is not comfortable? There is no eye contact. So you can simply ask the students to switch on the video and then you can monitor and you can, yes, I completely agree with it. But we have to adapt. No one-to-one interaction. Lazy to be attentive. Yes. But first thing, we have to adapt to this. That is, as teachers, we have to adapt to this environment. And of course, I said about the Academia 4.0, right? Okay. Before that, how much efficiency you achieved in online teaching and learning? How much efficiency you achieved in online teaching and learning? So let us take, you are handling the class in a physical classroom, right? So you would have achieved some percentage as per yourself. And you will be very happy. After handling the class, you will be very happy. If you have solved or if you have taken an interesting topic, right? So you have to be very happy while coming out of the class. So likewise, after this session, I mean, after handling the online session, how much happy you are and how much satisfied you are, that gives the efficiency. Offline was good since we can analyze whether the student has understood or not. In that way, okay, fine. So this is reply from Samya. Yes, very good. I'm getting some interactive answers. Thank you. See here, the network issue. So if you take the industry 4.0, basically it is about connecting devices. Basically, it is about connecting devices, right? So the network service provider have to be aware about the number of devices that will be connected in future. So based on that, they will provide service, right? But if you take this academic side, academic industry, right? So since you will handle the class in the physical classroom, and then there won't be any connectivity is required. Suppose if you take this online session, so nearly 134 participants are here, sitting at different parts of the country, and we are connected, right? So 134 connectivity is required for conducting this session. Likewise, you see how many institutes conducting this type of program and how many schools are connected like this. They're connecting their classrooms, the class, right? So how much connectivity is required? So network issue will be a serious issue in case of this fourth generation, industry fourth generation. And of course, so that issue will be solved by the network service providers after adopting the 5G, right? So 50 million devices is expected to connect in future. And someone said about efficiency is down as we cannot gauge how students have understood. Fine. I completely agree with that, right? Fine. But if you take this case, this online environment, right? This corona have forced us to adapt to this one, right? That is Academia 4.0. Even if this corona have not come, right? So in another 5 years, the teaching platform will be like this. The teaching platform will be like this, right? So we have to adapt. I already said that. So we have to reduce the time and then we have to utilize this resource effectively, right? See here, Industry 4.0 and Academia 4.0. It is revolutioning in this education with AI and automations, right? So, and one more thing, if you take all the institutes are facing difficulty in conducting the exams, right? All the institutes are conducting the exams and correcting the papers, right? If you would have adopted this one, this Academy 4.0, then conducting exams and evaluating the exams is very easy. It's very easy. But ILD said the lack of knowledge in adopting this Industry 4.0, and we would have not thought about this Academy 4.0. Right? Fine. So revolutioning this education with the AI, learning management system, ERP. Of course, most of the institutes have incorporated this LMS and ERP, and they have incorporated this automated administration service. But if you take that one, the learning virtually and deliver targeted information effectively, that is very important, right? The first one and the last ones are not adapted, but we are forced to adapt due to this pandemic situation, right? But of course, by sitting at the different places, sitting at your homes or office from different parts of the country, we could get connected and attend this program, right? If you want to attend this program, physically, just you check to the cost involved in traveling, accommodations, and a lot of parameters. I already said the ultimate aim is to transfer the knowledge. So here the transfer of knowledge in this 5 days FDP will be achieved by sitting at the different places, right? Utilizing the sources effectively, right? So adoption of academia becomes mandatory. And again, the lack of knowledge, the obstacle to implement. But if we take the problems, what you have mentioned, practical impact are missing. So Mr. Diliraj said that practical impact are missing. But the industries have developed an online sources for conducting the laboratories for 5 years back itself. If you take Microsoft Azure, it's providing completely cloud solution, right? It's completely providing cloud solution. But adapting that one, so there is a lack of knowledge should adapt to this environment. Even if you take this hardware parts, right? So in academic 4.0, now need to have that hardware laboratory, no need to have a physical laboratory. Everything is available online, but we have to adapt. And once said about there is no eye contact. Yes, I completely agree. But if we adapt this online environment, and if we know how to handle this online class effectively and making all the participants interactive at any time, they need to be very easy for the teachers, and you won't go back to the classroom environment. Honestly speaking, if you know how to handle this online classes very effectively, and no one will go back to the environment, in classroom environment. But it is a challenging one, and we have to adapt, and then we have to learn a lot of things to interact with the students and to handle the students effectively. So how we will make that eye contact? Yes, while taking the class, by seeing that student, you can identify whether he is listening or he is responding or dreaming or whatever it is. But the same thing you have to identify through this online platform, right? And then you have to make it interactive, right? We have to make it interactive. And then to identify the potential students. So how we will identify the potential students? Raise questions, simple questions, and then get reply from the students. And of course, you have to, initially it is very difficult to get the reply from the students, but you have to wait and we have to make the students to reply, right? From that, you can easily identify the potential students, right? And then students will not join on time. So this is one message from the participants. Yes. Again, so you have to be you have to make the students to join on time. And of course, there are tools, so you can utilize the tool, so automatically permit the students only within the time. And of course, if you take that, you would have used that Gmeet, Google Meet, or a simple open version of Zoom. But if you take a professional application developed by class, that is, you take an Apple class, right? So it will be like a classroom environment. Teacher don't worry about the attendance and other things, right? But they already say that if you take that Apple is too costly. But if you take that facilities available, so that is too cheap, right? If possible, you try that Apple class. Maybe if you have a small set of group, and if all are using that Apple device, you can try with that Apple class. You see that effectiveness of that class. So when we will adapt? So this corona made us to adapt to this environment. It is forced to adapt this academic 4.0, right? I already said small scale industries are hesitating to adapt to this industry 4.0, but the investment is required is huge, but the ROI is also huge. So likewise, if we would have adapted this one, then we will be very comfortable in handling these online classes. But it takes time. It takes time. Right. Yes. Next one, I want to talk about the smart city. That is industry 4.0 in cities. And then I'll conclude. So what is a smart city? So providing the smart solutions, right? So again, that depends on the requirement, right? But suppose if you take the smart cities defined by the corporations of different cities in India, we are lacking 30 years behind when compared to the cities in Singapore, right? If you take, so we are talking about the video surveillance over the entire city. We take the e-governance, waste management. Till now, we have not provided solution for the effective waste management, right? And you take the water management, the smart meters. Not only the utilization of water, that is quantity of water consumed. So we are installing the smart meters, but we have to consider the quality of water also. And if you take the energy management, the smart meters, urban mobility, smart parking, intelligent traffic management. But if you take that, you see that smart solutions, the telemedicine and the tele-education. So we gave the least preference to that others, that is telemedicine and tele-education, right? But now it becomes the mandatory, and it is with utmost highest priority, right? It is with utmost highest priority. And then skill development centers, it's very important, right? You have to upgrade the skills every and every time, right? So if you take smart city and smart village, so they got the demands from the publics. So what are the requirements of smart city, right? So based on that, they have implemented step by step. And again, there is no unique solutions for smart, unique definition for smart, based on the requirements. All right. Okay. And many of are raised a lot of questions like, so what about job opportunities for humans after the adoption of this 4.0? It is fully automation. So how it will be? Put it as a question, and then I will tell you. How about job opportunities? See here, if you make it fully automated, and of course there will be problems for humans, okay, about the job opportunities. But if they update their skills, the opportunity is huge, right? Fine. So that's all for the today's session, and I thank the principal head of the department for providing the opportunity to address the participants. Thank you participants for patiently listening. And of course, I had some more demo to show, but due to shortage of time also. And I have one more thing, that is in automotive industries. I could not share the details about the automotive electronics also. Anyhow, thank you. Any questions from the participants are welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, madam.
Is it Sudha, sir? Sir, how to motivate the students through online, because their attentiveness we are not able to, whatever maybe we are giving
Yes,
our full different types of we are giving content to them, but how to change their
okay, fine.
mind
I
with
agree.
that, sir?
I agree. From
Thank
where
you.
you are, madam?
I'm from Chennai, sir. Mohammed Sada KJ College of
Okay,
Engineering.
fine. Okay, fine. Actually, it's a very challenging one for the teachers, professors to handle the situation, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
One thing I'll tell you, the same ATAL, right? ATAL Tinkering is conducting one more program for school students, right? And my son is studying 7th standard, right? But if you daily is 4 o'clock, evening 4 o'clock, right?
Okay, sir.
So they are conducting. So my son will play casually, but exactly at 4 o'clock, he will go and log in and sit in the front of the system. Is it possible for you to believe this? And if you see that list of participants, everyone, almost all the participants will be at time 4 p.m. I was really surprised. Okay. Actually, they are conducting programs for school students from 5th standard to 10th standard. So adult tinkering, right? But they are creating some projects. And they, first initially, he find it difficult to attend that one. Okay. But once the content is interesting for him, now what happens? No one forced him to attend. He automatically attends. So it is, so actually we have trained to handle the physical classroom. Now we have to handle this class in online, right? So we have to make the students interesting. So it is in the hands of the teachers, right? First, we have to adapt to this online environment, and then we have to learn a lot of new things and how to handle this. Actually, there is one separate class, separate training, how to handle the students effectively through online. So, for example, simply I will say, so if you want to find out whether the student is actively interacting or not, actually in Zoom there is an option. You can form a small group. You can form a subgroup. Okay, you can form a subgroup. Just you post a question in that subgroup, and then you check. So how the students are responding. So based on that, you can easily find. At least they have to reply. So whether they know the answer or don't know the answer, that doesn't matter. They have to reply with yes or no. So you have to make the students. So you have to call and then make the students to answer. Answer means reply. Then you can get the answer, right? So you have to post an interesting questions, maybe a general questions or related to that subject, or some interesting question related to the subjects, right? So once if you make the students to listen to your class, then automatically he will think that okay, you may raise question at any time, so he will listen, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So it is in the hands of
Yes, sir.
the presenter.
Yes, sir. But we
And
are
one
the
more thing,
professor. We are giving a lot of effort, and but
yes, I agree.
Yes, sir.
I agree, madam. I agree. You are putting a lot of efforts, so there is no doubt in that. But the ultimate thing is the student have to listen. But the students also taking it as a lethargic. I completely agree.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. And first, we have to utilize this tool, the teaching tool, effectively. And if you're using this classroom tool, so all the teachers and professors will find a lot of time to learn new things. The simple works that will be fully automated, right? Like attendance and then mark evaluation and other things. right? So everything will be reduced. Is any questions?
Participants, if you have any questions, you can either unmute and speak or put it in the chat box.
Also, a lot of resources available for laboratories. You can use those things. So it will be very easy to connect those